go from here? Burst mode. All right, bounce that.
Go.
We will bounce nothing. Gain 2 memory again. Go to all the way to 8. Attack. Reset the hand down to 8.
Yes.
To unsuspend. This is going to be 2 checks because I believe that's an Arrow Digimon under that. So I'm gonna do 3 to the bottom, unsuspend, 2 checks.
Just to get our...
1 hybrid.
Well, you got some hybrids now in the trash.
Mm-hmm. And then we just play Thomas. And unless it's something like a fire drill, or not even a fire drill. Oh no, just as good. We're gonna play a Gaomon. Attack, 2 checks, force our opponent to draw, unsuspend, put something to the bottom, 2 checks, and that is game.
Yep.
So Mirage Gaogamon takes this match.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Hyper Colosseum. It's your boys here. It's Rio in the driver's seat today, and we have...
Oh, hi.
Passenger princess is over here.
And on the chopping block today, we have Mr.
It's me, Ben. We did a thing today. We did a thing.
Yes, he definitely did. With the first regional of the year, our boy came in sweeping with a wonderful record of
6-2. We snuck into the top 16, getting 14th, which was pretty nice. One win away from getting top 3, but I can't be too salty about that because, I mean, top 16 is, I'll take it. I mean, first regional of the year, we locked down Nats for the boys. I think it's a pretty good start.
much congrats. Like our chat was slowly like keeping informed, and we're like, wait, what the fuck? It's still going? What?
Dude, it was a long day, long day, but we get there. It
was fun. It was fun being there because I went there after everything today, and I was talking with his fiance Hillary, and we're like Hillary was like trying to like understand. Garcia. She was trying to understand like what was going on, so I was like giving her the play-by-play, but like explaining it in like different game terms. But it was super fun to watch him play in person too.
I was at work, so I couldn't see shit.
Go ahead. What deck did you play, Mr. Blue Bomber?
We played Mirage. I definitely was going back and forth between Melga and Mirage for a long time. Seeing that I wanted to kind of stick to blue and just kind of go back to the roots, especially after Nats, and we ended up just sticking with Mirage just because I was comfortable with it. It was doing really well for me, and I thought I had a pretty decent matchup going into a lot of what the meta shaped up to be. I think particularly against Levia, I think Melga in particular struggles a lot against Levia because you get to pop a lot of stuff. I felt like Mirage was annoying enough with BT11's effect to like, lose memory when they draw and search that I felt like it was a pretty good balance between like control and aggression.
For sure, yeah. In our past weekly local, you were also running Mr. Blue Boy here, and you did amazing.
Yeah, we're running the blue punchy dog.
I've been topping for the past couple weeks.
Yes. Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
Awesome to see.
All right, Ben. Well, let's go into your matchups today. So, what was your round one like?
Round one, we started off with Levia. Pretty, I think, standard Levia set. It was just sort of a good back and forth between, stuff getting popped and trying to be aggressive about controlling board state. Zudo Ace definitely came in clutch as well, because he would try to get some pokes in. I'd be like, nope, Zudo Ace, establish a 5 bounce board, and then set up Mirage next turn. So that card definitely came in clutch. And then, yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good back and forth. We ended up going like into overtime. My heart was beaten like no other because we were literally like within seconds of calling it a draw, and I was able to kind of squeeze it out. So good first round match. Second round was Sovereigns, which was an interesting matchup. I haven't played too much Sovereigns. I know TJ, you had a pretty decent build of it, and I played it maybe like once or twice, but definitely made me think about my swings and timing it. But I think overall Sovereigns is a decent matchup for me since I'm just able to bounce a lot of stuff. And the targets that I do get to bounce end up giving me a ton more memory because of the overflow mechanic. So I think overall pretty solid. So we got through that. Round 3 was a Wargrey. It was great guy. Shout out to you, Stefan. I played him at Nats too, and it was just nice kind of catching up with the guy. He's a great player. We ended up going to game 3. He took it just off of I think good back and forth, and security helped him out at the end, which I mean I can't complain about that because I had pretty lucky security hits too. So he ended up taking game 3, so that was the first loss of the day. Round 4 and round 5 were sort of like the repeat Leviah Sovereign matchup. Again, pretty solid for me, being able to establish my top ends out on board and kind of do bouncing shenanigans with Mirage. Round 6 was another Leviah, which I was able to take. The guy was undefeated up until that match, which was pretty cool. And he was really good player. I just was able to kind of establish, again, the top end and do aggression with my starter deck Aerovi and kind of blew through security that way. Round 7 was Red Hybrid, which, again, I was able to kind of squeak by with. Bouncing and not proccing a lot of his on-deletion stuff was huge. This is a match that TJ was able to witness as well, and I was doing pretty good, I think, in my opinion, of like choking him to 1 so he couldn't do a whole lot and having him just pass turn, and I think that allowed me to win the game. And then round 8 was crazy. I was actually table 3 at that point, and I played against another like Wargrey Toolbox player, and I think 1, I was just tired. 2, he was just really, really good. You could tell that he was a really good player. I think he was on stream earlier on the day, I think a couple times, and he was doing some real good work. Just a really well-versed player. You know, I think just kind of blew me out of the water there. I was missing some pieces, and he capitalized as all good players do, and he was able to take it into pretty quickly. So that ended the day for me. I ended up going 6-2. And because my opponents did pretty well, and I was kind of going up against strong opponents and able to squeak it through, the tiebreakers and win percentages got me to 14th place, which I was super happy about, super stoked. Yeah, so that was it. That was the matchups.
So round 6 was a down pair? Like
Correct.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah, it was fun watching Ben play, because when he won a game, he just like popped off. It was like like I think it was round 7 that you won.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, let's go! Like he got up and like popped off, because it was just like one more game after that. But the Wargrey player, I don't remember his name, but he was definitely really good. Like it's one of those things where like when you see that like how they move their cards, like you know what I mean, like you can tell like when someone is a very well versed and a skilled card player just by like their mannerisms
This
that
man's
they have with the
playing
cards.
chess.
Yeah, like it's like you could tell he knew, and he was very quick with it. He knew all of his effects. He resolved stuff properly. Like he was very well versed.
And his name was Kevin Kim. So shout out to him. He ended up taking 3rd place. So kudos to him for doing really, really well. And I think he was well practiced against Mirage too. Like he was talking to me like right after turn 1. He's like, "Yep, like show me what Mirage can do." And I was like, "Oh shit." But yeah, no, I mean overall really good games. The opponents were all super chill, so it was pretty cool. Pretty good experience.
You wanna do a quick rundown of the deck?
You got it, boss. So for the eggs, we got to start off with one of the limited Buka. I mean, he's banned for a reason. And especially with how Mirage is unsuspending a whole ton, having Buka in the bag is super, super nice. And then we only ran 4 eggs. We did do 3 of the Wanyamon for just additional draw power. I think a pretty good substitute in terms of just finding your pieces. So that did it for the eggs. As a substitute for Buka getting limited, we did run 3 Betamon. And I was seeing him a pretty good number of times. I think 3 of is a good sweet spot where, you know, I'm seeing it often enough where I'm getting it pretty reliably. Because I still do like the Gao lines just for consistency's sake, but I think 3 of Betamon definitely helped me out for that added aggression. Then we did 4 of the Gaomon, just on play draw, inheritable gain of memories, syncs very, very well with what Mirage wants to do. Definitely also can help you with your burst mode plays to just give your opponent that extra draw power to help Mirage unsuspend one last time. We rounded out with 4 of the Searcher Gaomons. Still don't know why he trashes, which did burn me a couple times, but at the same time, searching is always key, so have to run him at a 4 of. Moving on to level 4s, we run 4 of the Gaomon from EX4. Again, just inheritable gain memory syncs very, very well with what Mirage wants to do. And when Digivolving can come up at times, I think particularly with Red Hybrid, it was kind of nice to just training, go into a Gauga, bounce their level 3, and just bulk up their hand size, because red hybrid typically sheds their hand pretty reliably. So being able to do that, I think definitely helped me out a whole lot. And then we complemented it with 4 of the Gaogamon from BT13. Being able to play a Thomas for free also can come in pretty clutch. You know, a nice combo play to start off with is just searching with Gaomon like turn 1, and then if you have a Gaoga and you pick up a Tamer off of this guy, they can't deal with your level 3 typically right away. Just go into this guy, play out your Tamer. Huge value right there. And then we round out the level 4s with 1 of Kuma, which hybrid for game, still a thing, right? And also too, in a pinch, like going Kuma on top of a Thomas for 2 memory and then using like a training to go into a level 5 also can be pretty helpful. And I've done that a couple of times, you know, during this regionals and at locals as well, and against the DJ.
I've received that. I've received that treatment multiple times.
Moving on to the level 5s, we did run more of like a toolboxy spread, and shout out to you, TJ, for kind of walking me through this a couple of nights before regionals to kind of help me hammer it down. We start off with 2 of the BT11 Mach Gao. Getting blocker and plus 2k DP actually is pretty clutch. You know, having blocker helped me out with Levia because I was able to establish this guy, give my Mirage plus 4k DP and blocker, and Levia X was only swinging in at like, I think like 13 or 14k. And then he's like, well, shit, like if I block, he had Protoform underneath, he'd have to add a card to hand, which would screw him over and pass over memory. So he had to really think about his swings that way, and he'd lose a stack. So having that DP boost is pretty clutch. And then the inheritable of all turns, when something's added via effect to hand, unsuspended, it pairs very, very well with the jamming mantra. You know, you go into this guy, swing jamming, then go Mirage to help unsuspend, also gives you that additional aggression piece. Next, we do 1 each of the Mach Gaogamon from BT13 and EX4 respectively. This guy can't come in clutch because he's like unredirectable, which in today's meta can be a thing, you know, especially with all the redirecting stuff that happens. Can't be blocked as well because that's also a redirection, right? And then this guy he's also banned for a reason, being able to bounce to level 4, and then when attacking, if your opponent has 8 or more, again, synergizes very well with the burst mode to just help you keep restanding and swinging for that, you know, aggression that you so desperately desire in this deck. Moving on, we do 2 of the starter deck Arrow Vidramon. This guy was huge. Giving my stack 2 checks reliably did help me close out so many games today. Having jamming underneath it too is just like added sugar on top. But this guy really, really was good. I don't think I do more of them though. I think 2 is a sweet spot. And then we run 2 Zudo Ace, mainly because, you know, being able to either burst Evo or straight up just like hard play him. There's been so many times like late game, what I really like to do is like do my whole like burst mode shenanigans, especially going against decks that I'm afraid of options, whether it be like Levia, Armors is another one with like Heavens running around. Being able to like slam a Zudo, bounce something, gain memory off of Mirage, and then go into another Mirage to bounce security and keep turn and then burst mode and do shenanigans just helps me trim down security and avoid any like crazy options. So Zudo definitely clutch. I don't think I switched the ratios up just because I think the toolboxy feel of it, any more tinker, I feel like then I'm gonna hurt consistency. I feel like this was pretty solid for me. And then level 6s, we run 1 of the BT4 Mirage. Mainly because I'm able to turbo into my burst mode a little bit easier. Like there's been a couple games where I'm able to go into him, gain the memory, keep turn, and then burst mode to kind of do more removal and do more aggression that way. I replaced BT13 Mirage for that reason. I feel like nowadays too, with decks not running a lot of Tamers, you don't get a lot of that bounce utility, and you're not able to play out Tamers as well. And Evade is nice, but with like Levia doing like a double pop, like sometimes Evade doesn't even matter anymore anyway. So I feel like this guy just helped turbo my game plan a little bit more, which is why I chose to run him instead. And I definitely do not regret running him. He did come in clutch a couple times today. And then we run 4 of the BT11 Mirage. I think by far the best card of the deck. Being able to like just floodgate your opponent and kind of plan that way and stop them from making a lot of their plays. If you can choke them to like 1 or 2 and have this guy just sitting out there, they can't really do much unless they have the line going. So definitely really, really good card here. Round out the Digimon with 3 of the burst mode. Just, I mean, she's so good. I don't really have much else to say besides just great removal, great aggression, and closes games out for you. Tamers, we run 4 of the BT4 Thomas to help you restand. Again, just added aggression for Mirage in a deck that just likes to unsuspend, adds to that engine. And then 3 of the Memory Setter Thomas. I definitely wouldn't change this up. I know some people prefer the Memory Setter Thomas over this guy. I feel like with how efficient the deck is, you don't really need a 4th one. And with how many different options you can get your opponent either to 8 or more or exactly 8, which procs this guy's effect off, I feel like this guy is definitely a much more valuable piece, at least for the way I play the deck. Options, we run 2 blue memory boost, 4 mental training for obvious reasons, just search, memory efficiency, and making your plays just all that more efficient and faster. Like, I feel like there's really no reason not to run 4 training. If I could run more boost, I would, but I think 2 is still decent because we do want to fit in 1 removal option, and that's 1 full moon meteor impact. Just being able to get rid of a big body, particularly with how many ace cards there are running around with like your level 5s and your level 6s being ace cards now. Being able to slam this down for 8, gain the overflow, and then gain memory off of their hand effect. There have been times Jarrell's looking at me like
that 1 of feels like a 4 of in your deck. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Like
True.
Every game I've watched you play, you've hit that.
it's always there. It's always there.
I played one test game against Ben. I was playing Mega Gargo, had Mega Gargo on field. Rapid effect was already done. He drops Full Moon Meteor. Full Moon Meteor bounces Mega Gargo, gains 4 off the overflow. 4 more because I had 16 cards in hand.
and then I gained memory off of Mirage as well.
You gained 14 memory off of that play. Like, well, you know, you spent 8, but you gained a total of 14 memory, so you more than made up for the cost when you did that play because of how many cards were in Jarrell's. It was insane.
I heard.
If there was a card I'd bump up that guy to like a 2 of. But I mean, I felt like this worked perfectly fine for me as well.
2 of, so it feels like an 8 of.
With the amount of drawing he's doing, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Mirage is a deck that's focused on so much draw. Not to mention trainings are consistent, being able to grab options as well. They're like it makes sense that it's very searchable.
Yeah, and that's the deck profile.
Yeah, for sure. So you said you would consider running another Full Moon Meteor Impact. Is there anything else you would potentially change in your deck build if you had the chance to?
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, the big thing that I kind of got stuck on too is just missing a level 4, which, I mean, I am running a 9 of, which is not too bad, but maybe 1 more hybrid. I don't know. I think BT16 is definitely going to be coming in clutch with the jamming Gaogamon. That guy's definitely going to help me out a whole lot. Like you said, 1 more maybe full moon just to give myself more removal options, given how sometimes like sticky things are nowadays, and how you want to get rid of things and bounce still. Outside of Wargrave, which are my 2 losses, like not a lot of decks have good bounce protection right now. So if I can maybe fit in 1 more full moon and maybe take out the BT4 Mirage just for additional removal, I think that's probably what I do. But I think otherwise, maybe swapping the ratios out for these 2. But even then, like, I do like the DP boost, so I'd probably keep everything else as is. So I'm pretty happy with it right now.
For sure, yeah. And then going into today, is there anything you were like kind of considering being afraid of playing against in your matchup?
Bunnies, hands down bunnies. You know, after playing against Jarrell, and yes, we talked about me gaining 14 memory, which was like sort of a meme turn, but otherwise, like, you were cooking me. Like, all you had to do is like slam rapid down, and like I really couldn't do a whole lot because you threaten Gargo, Mega Gargo suspends, which then like stops me from doing what I want to do, and I can't bounce. So at that point, it really like slows me down and makes me almost like double think myself. And even if you don't have it, that like bluff potential alone like slows me down a whole lot. And I was lucky, I think, not to play bunnies this like regional. Otherwise, I feel like that definitely would have tripped me up.
Yeah, there was Speaking of the bluff potential, there was one game Ben was just playing Levia against my Gargo deck because I'm also trying to test for regionals. He had the 2 swings on board to essentially clear me out because I had 1 security left. One turn, dropped a level 7 rapid. I didn't have an ace in hand. Next turn, I draw into another level 7 or level 5 rapid. Hard dropped it again. Didn't give a fuck. I'm like, do it. I have no ace. If he kills me, he kills me. But he played like super cautiously because he's like, there could be a Gargo in there.
Well, because it fucks you up. It fucks you up big time if you can do it.
And the thing is too is, and I know that's one of your most feared matchups, but I do think that you've also played against it a lot. Like you've won the matchup before plenty of times.
Yeah.
To your credit as well. But it is definitely a deck that I think makes it a lot harder because green kind of stops blue from unsuspending, which is what blue wants to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that definitely puts you in a difficult spot.
And then I think the other deck I was probably a little bit afraid of was, well, 2 of them would have been the like Dark Masters, like Omnizoo, just because I haven't had a whole lot of practice playing against it. I felt like anybody who was playing Belfi probably migrated over to Levia, so I wasn't too worried about Belfi. And then Nume Poop, I think on paper shouldn't scare me a whole lot just because I'm bouncing a lot of stuff, so their on deletions don't really proc. But I haven't played a lot against it, and I know it can be real fast and real aggressive, so I definitely was a little worried about that matchup. Again, thankfully I didn't hit it, so luck was on my side on that one. But other than that, I felt pretty confident going into a lot of the meta matchups right now.
Yeah, I was watching the judge chat, and I think they were saying that a majority of the tournament was Levia. Which, I mean, it makes sense. That's one of the most dominant decks right now. So
yeah, definitely very accessible, and I think it's definitely the best purple deck right now, I'd say. And there's so many different ways that you can build it. It's so toolboxy with other purple support that like it's just a dangerous deck in general. It can do so much work, and it's a deck that like naturally wants to run like security bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one oh, sorry, go ahead, Rio.
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I think for me, like I think also like thanks to TJ too for just having me playtest a lot against Levia. I think I definitely was comfortable with it. I think for me, the way I played against Levia was pretty much just like wait for me to go into my burst mode, because Biting Crush doesn't affect burst mode, nor does 7th Lightning. And my burst mode's already bigger than Levia X. If I have jamming, I beat out Ruin mode or Death X. So a lot of times I'm just waiting for them to like do their big play. They can't OTK me and go for game. They can OTK and get rid of my security, but most of the times they can clear security and then they're just like, okay, deal with my board. If you can't, then I win. So that does give me like a turn to say, okay, well, I can clap you back. And that's usually how I kind of waited for things to play. I was like, let them do their thing. If they can do it, fine. If they're bricking, then I capitalize. But most of the times I'll wait for them to kind of go full moon, and then I'll say, okay, well, now you can't pop my stuff. Let me go out and do my thing.
Sure, yeah. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up for today?
No, I mean, just a quick shout out to you guys. Definitely wouldn't be here without you guys helping me test and get better. So I owe a lot of this to the boys on the channel and also the boys at locals too. You know, shout out to, I mean, the list will go on, right? Like Anthony, Jose, Coop, Bill, like Gabe, Shane, you know, everybody who's been at locals and helped me test and had to kind of suffer me playing Mirage over the past few weeks. Appreciate you all. And also shout out to kind of the OG guys who got me into Digimon, like Shamoon, Mark, Wilson, Josh, like all you guys who got me into the game and helped me stick with it. Definitely a huge shout out to you guys. This one was definitely for you all. So, you know, can't thank you guys and everybody else enough. Hey guys, we're going to take a quick break here just so I can mention a few more shoutouts that I unfortunately forgot to mention during the time of recording. The Hoffman brothers, Mike and Will, you guys are just great players in general, and I've learned a lot from you guys over the past couple of years playing against each other at locals. Definitely have pushed me to get better. Shout out to Stack for just being you. We always have a fun time playing, and you've been a great just kind of practice buddy, and it's always fun playing against you. Jeremy as well, you know, we've been kind of playing together since the fair game days, so, you know, shout out to you for kind of being there the entire way. And last but not least, my lovely fiance for just putting up with my shit, for lack of a better way of putting it. Letting me play the entire regionals and sacrificing time together so I can get the practice going and letting me do my thing. So wouldn't be here without you in particular. So thank you so much. And back to our scheduled programming.
Well, the question is, are you playing in more regionals?
I mean, the serialized Omni is there. No, I mean, I'm gonna try. I'm definitely gonna tone it down a little bit just because I want to take it easy and not get too burnt out. But at the same time, like, Nats is a goal. I mean, Nats is the goal, and doing well at Nats is definitely the goal. If we can make it to Worlds, I mean, I'm not gonna jinx it. If we can shoot for that, I'm not gonna back down there.
But yeah, I mean, again, first regional of the season, and you're already in, and it's fucking crazy, dude.
and
That's wild.
A weight lifted off your shoulders now.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah,
And
most definitely.
The cool thing is too is that you get support with BC16, like you were saying before. There's other like tech choices that I'm sure are going to come, especially like when we get the scramble cards and stuff like that. So I'm because I know that you were saying before that like you're really wanting to focus on playing blue. Like you are going to be like super practiced. You're really wanting to be like you bring out the best competitor in you that you can this year. So I'm really excited to see what you do because you are a great player, and that's not just like I'm your friend and I care about you and you're my brother bears. That is, I've seen the way you play. You've gotten invites to Nats twice now. You constantly top at locals and stuff. Like I'm really excited to see what you do.
Thank you. Yeah.
I also just had this thought. He got in there before Magna X.
Hey.
Yes.
Oh, that's
You know what?
That's gonna be
the
scary.
that's gonna be the big baddie, but hopefully we can find a way.
Yeah.
I suffered your sins when you hit me for those 8 games in a row. That was the penance. I took your losses for you. I was broken so you could run, brother babe.
Clearly, this means I need to play Greymon more at locals. I need to go back to the roots.
No.
Just gonna bring back. I'm just gonna bring. I forgot I sold
It's
it.
good practice. It's good practice, I guess.
Time to bring back the 3 of Hades Force.
Nah, don't worry. We're all going to that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a full bow at Nets, and then
And Peoria. We're going to
And Peoria,
Yeah.
Peoria.
Oh, I'm so excited for that.
That's gonna be so fun, dude.
Vlog part 2.
Absolutely, we gotta do a vlog.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one more shout out to for the shops that we play at. They definitely are a big part of our community. Dean's Dugout in Naperville, they've been there for years. They've supported our community for like countless amount of years with countless amount of games. So shout out to them. So if you're in the Naperville area, check it out. And Sully's Abode, which is the shop that we're usually at every Thursday over in Bolingbrook. So if you're in the Chicagoland area, feel free to join us. We're at Sully's every Thursday, like 6:30. And we're at Dean's every Sunday at 12:30. We'd love to have you guys. We've had a lot of new faces come into Sully's, so it's been really great to see. And a lot of these new faces are like starting to stick, and we're like seeing these guys every week now, which is awesome. Last week we had like 21 people show up, which is like insane.
It was a
we're
lot.
in a packed house, and like every time someone comes up to us and tells us that they came to Sully's or wherever because they saw our videos, and like they give us like shout outs and say hi. It truly does warm our hearts. So thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah.
Shout out,
So thank you guys.
to Tristan, the guy who's the newest member who just came in last week.
Hell yeah.
And we should shout out the brother bear that's not here, RB.
True.
Our lover, our supporter. He's a vibe guy.
Our card
Feel good,
supplier.
He's the card sugar daddy. Shout out to you, RB. We love you.
Woo.
Woohoo!
Oh yeah. Well, that's it for today, I guess. Everyone stay safe out there. Don't forget to use our affiliate links in your cards, because anything we make goes back to the channel, so we do appreciate that. But yeah. Thank you, everyone. And Ben, you want to hit us with your catchphrase?
We'll catch ya on that flippy flip. Bye.
See you, everybody.